guys, I know we are going into 2023 very quickly. We're almost at the end of the first quarter and we are past the deadline for homesteading. But I still want to take a moment right now to talk through homesteading, what it is, and making sure that you are understanding this so you're prepared for next year. And there are ways to go ahead and file an application late. Even if you've missed it, I want to make sure you don't miss it by too much time. Go back to your county and get this all straightened up. So let's jump in. What is homesteading? Well, you're in Florida and you have a bonus on your taxes called homestead. Now, a lot of other states have it in similar formats or in different formats. Check with your state and your local lenders and find out how it all works in your area. And the homesteading benefit does vary by county on exactly how much it is. But in my county of Palm Beach County, what it is, it's $50,000 off of my primary residence that I don't pay taxes on, plus a cap to make sure that my taxes don't go up by more than 3% every year versus the up to 10% they could go up to every year if I wasn't homesteaded. So let's break all that down. First of all, let's talk about how property taxes work. Well, every time you buy a property, you're going to have a new assessed value that's recorded with the county. They're going to have an idea of how much that property is worth because someone just paid that amount for the property. Every time that happens, a new assessed value gets recorded, and that assessed value is roughly about 80% of the purchase price. Now, it can vary a little bit depending on, again, how your county calculates things, but that gives you a good idea. From there, homesteading will take a certain chunk of that assessed value off. So let's say, you bought the house for $200,000, 80% you're at $160,000, and then $50,000 off. The property taxes you're paying are based off that assessed value, that 110 amount, versus your neighbor who didn't homestead their property, bought it for the exact same amount at the same time. They're going to be paying taxes based off that 160 amount. Pretty straightforward savings there. Now, depending on your county, your city, and even your neighborhood, you're going to have different taxes that are associated with your property. You can look into your county's property record by just Googling X county and then property appraiser after it. It should be one of the first websites that pop up, if not the first website. You can click in there and you can find a little bit of information about your millage rate. Your millage rate is the percentage by which that taxation amount is calculated. So in areas with a smaller millage rate, less taxes. Areas with higher millage rate, higher taxes. Pretty straightforward on that. Now, this can influence how people purchase their properties and which areas. Some people care about it, some people not so much, because your millage rates are going to change year over year. However, the number one thing that you can do to keep your overhead down on properties is to buy earlier and sooner rather than later. When you start buying properties sooner, you lock in that homestead benefit, and you can transfer that homestead benefit from property to property by something called portability. That is going to give you bonuses or extra incentive on the next property's homestead because you've had that history of homesteading the previous property. And with everything I've seen in the mortgage industry lately and everything going on with the insurance market and Hurricane Ian and the impacts that it had on insurance, and then that insurance had on taxes, and now taxes are going through the roof, insurance is going through the roof, property overhead is getting more and more expensive. If there's anything you can do to make sure that you're going to be capping it for the future years and giving that gift to your future self, I would highly recommend doing it. You don't have to. It doesn't mean that you have to buy a home now, but it's just another reason why people will do the method of buying something sooner that's just, fitting the immediate need and then rolling it over, selling it, and actually purchasing their dream home or their forever home or just their next stage of life home down the line, and you just trade properties for properties. You'll get a lot more benefit from that than you will by renting for those few couple years and then moving into the property once you've saved up for enough for the size of home that you want or the nice area that you were looking to purchase in. A lot of times it might save you more money in the long run by keeping those other factors in mind and purchasing something based off it. So hope that helps you guys out. In order to file for the homestead, here are the things that you need to do. First of all, your homestead falls next year. You buy the property January 1st to December 31st in, let's say, 2023, you're going to be able to start homesteading your property in 2024. You'll have all of January and all of February to submit your homestead application, and you'll go back to that same property appraiser's website. Most of them will have a phone number at the bottom, and they're pretty great at being responsive, so feel free to call them and get more information. But you can always just go ahead and online. In most counties, you can go ahead and submit the application through there. Now, prior to applying, there are a few things that you'll want to take care of first. you'll want to go ahead and move your driver's license over to the new property. Now, when you're homesteading, you're declaring that this is your primary residence. So you move your driver's license over, you put your car registration, and most homestead applications will ask you for a utility bill as well to prove that you're the actual person that lives there at that property. Another fact, you can only homestead one property at a time. This is part of why you transfer your homestead. You're transferring your homestead to every property that you own as your primary residence. Like I said, you want to start early so you can move that over, but you can never keep all those properties behind you with that homestead benefit. To recap, you buy your property, the next year you've got 2 months to homestead it. Reach out to your county to see if you can homestead it even if you've already missed that deadline, because a lot of times they will let you do a late application and still give you the homestead for that year. And if you bought the property years ago and you've missed homesteading all of this time, no one ever told you what homesteading is, still go through and homestead your property. It doesn't matter if you've owned it for 6 years. Most counties will allow you to go ahead and declare it as your primary residence still. You just won't get that back incentive for all of those years. All of those years would have come up with the same percentage. You still would have paid the property taxes and that extra $50,000 of assessed value, but at least moving forward from then on, you'll get that extra benefit. So hope that helped. Have a great day. Bye.